October 10th, 1943, the Münster mission. On this day, the 8th Air Force lost more than 30 aircraft. Over 300 men became missing in action. Some crews were lucky enough to return with heavy damage, like Lieutenant Robert Rosie Rosenthal of the 100th Bomb Group, the only crew of his group that made it back. Others weren't so lucky, and one crew of the 91st Bomb Group in particular had a very bad day. The 91st Bomb Group dispatched only 10 aircraft due to the losses of the previous day. The official mission summary of the 91st for the Münster raid remarks, quote, "Crews report hits in the city and on marshalling yards. They claim a good bombing pattern and the town well covered. Our formation was spread out and relatively poor. Flak at Münster and Hamm was moderate and accurate. 8 aircraft hit. Enemy aircraft attacks were moderate." End quote. Only one crew of the 91st failed to return that day, not because of enemy fighters or flak. The following is the account of the Navigator of the B-17 in question. "We were flying in a new ship. It had only one trip behind it, an abortion the previous day. We had aborted on 9th of October because the engines were extremely overheated. Our colonel said that this was not sufficient reason, and that one could fly at higher than 280 degrees of cylinder heat. We had come back because our engineering officer had told us to do so whenever we reached such heat. The aircraft was given a ground check, but no air check. When we took off on 10th of October, we knew we were in a flying coffin and would never come back. But we also knew that we could not abort, as they believed we were all fakers. From the start, we could not climb as fast as the others. Just before target, number 4 was feathered. I know the engine had not been hit, so it must have been feathered due to overheating. After leaving target, the group increased its speed. We could not, and were left behind. The pilot tried to dive the plane to the lower group, but as we neared them, number 2 prop ran away due to overheating. With number 1 and 3 engines only, we could not maintain altitude. I believe they were overheated too. When the pilot yelled 'bail out', I looked about to destroy my papers and heard the pilot again call 'bail out'. I put my chute on and had the Bombardier put on his. He was putting on his chute, and the engineer was in the catwalk putting on his when I jumped at about 18,000 feet. I delayed my jump to 4,000 feet so that the Germans would not have too good an opportunity to shoot at me, and no time to meet me at my point of landing. I was on the ground in 3 minutes maximum time, and no one had had time to do anything that would hinder me. There was a strong jerk when I pulled the ripcord, because one of the leg straps was loose, and I was wearing a new harness that I had not had time to have adjusted. Looking up, I saw 8 or 9 chutes open in a line high above me. I could also see the aircraft, and smoke was pouring out of number 2 engine. I could see a town off to the southeast, and had an approximate idea of where I was, although I was not sure whether I was over Holland or Germany. Just before I hit the ground, there was a wind change, which twisted me around, so that I could not do a roll as I had planned on the way down. I hit hard, twisting both my knees and stunning myself, so that I just sat there, wondering what the score was. 5 people came running toward me, and it was easy to see that they were friendly. They told me that I was in Holland. This account was written by 2nd Lieutenant Arthur J. Horning, the navigator of the B-17 nicknamed Tennessee Toddy, serial number 4237737. Horning evaded capture, traveling through the Netherlands, Belgium, France, and Spain. and finally returned to England on January 30, 1944. His testimony was preserved in Escape and Evasion Report number 369. If you would like to read the details of his escape and evasion, passing German patrols, hiding in safe houses, and even pretending to be deaf and dumb, I highly recommend to reading his full account. The Bombardier, 2nd Lieutenant John A. Lilley, opened his parachute too quickly. It caught on the horizontal stabilizer, and he was killed just before the pilot crash-landed the plane. Tennessee Toddy was flown by 2nd Lieutenant Earl R. Verrill that day. He and the rest of the crew were captured and became prisoners of war. The B-17 came down about 6 kilometers northeast of Apeldoorn in the Netherlands. It was later salvaged, and its vertical stabilizer appeared in German newsreel footage.